What's up, Pathways Church? Welcome to today's Daily Dose. I'm Nathan Purifoy, your worship pastor. I'm super excited to be with you this week. Right now, we're talking about Genesis chapter 1, the creation of everything that we know. We're going to go straight to verse 11. It says, "Then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit, with seed in it according to the various kinds." And then, let me take you straight to verse 20. It says, "And God said, let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." And if you keep going, 24, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kind, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground." He talks about all the creatures on earth. And then he says something different in the next piece that I'm going to read to you. Now, let me talk about these first three. He talks about to the land. He says, land produce vegetation, spoke to the earth, and then plants came up. And then he spoke to the water and he said, "Water, I want you to teem with living creatures." And then creatures started coming into the water, and he spoke to the sky and told the sky to produce animals. And it did. It produced birds and all the flying things that we see. And then he spoke to the ground again and he said, "Produce all the animals of the earth." And all the animals that we know that are earthbound came up. Now, here's the thing, is he spoke directly to the source and created something from that source. He spoke to the water to create the fish. He spoke to the land to create the vegetation. Now let's take a plant that you have at your house that's in a flower pot in soil. We take that out of the soil, we remove it, we keep it out of that soil long enough, and it'll die. If you take a fish, even if you take a mammal that lives in the water and you take it out of the water, you leave it out long enough and it's going to die. Once you take something away from its source, it perishes. Now, let's go straight to verse 26. It says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Who did God speak to then? He didn't speak to the ground to produce people. He didn't speak to the air to produce people. He didn't speak to the water to produce people, because those were never our source. It says, let us make mankind in our own image. So who's he speaking to? He's speaking to himself. Let's point out a few things he's not speaking to, because we are financially fulfilled through our job. He did not speak to your job to produce you. We are emotionally fulfilled through our family and through relationships. He did not speak to your family and your friends to produce you. We are purpose fulfilled by our jobs, through our other activities that we take part in. We're also, entertainment is fulfilled through the Green Bay Packers and through Netflix and through all the things that we enjoy. He didn't speak to those things to produce you. All of those things are a resource, but God is the source. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, so I'm gonna say that again. All of those things are a resource, but God is the source. So you have resources. Resources are great things to be grateful for, but we should never forget the source. The source was never your income. The source was never your family. There's something else, something beneath all of that, that is the real, true source, and that is God. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Daily Dose.